Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you're listening to the Brutal Truth Browns and Bengals podcast featuring Angry Scots, casual fan Kris, and baby driver Trey. Gentlemen, how we doing?
What's happening, Scott? What's up, Trey?
Hey, man. Glad to be here. Hey, go Falcons, go Panthers. We got the Browns and the Bengals. We're rallying here.
For everyone that doesn't know Trey, besides the fact that he looks like he just woke up, because he did, the other thing is he is an Atlanta fan. Now, why are you an Atlanta Falcons fan there, Trey?
But yeah, I just kind of grew up in it, being from Georgia. It was the only team. And then I've been in Charlotte 16 years now. So whichever team's doing well, I got gear from both. So just happy to be here.
They're called Fairweather fans,
They
Trey.
are.
It's okay. We still like you. Hey, quick note.
Yep.
Please like and subscribe. We're going to go ahead and put a hashtag out there for the Brutal Truth Browns Bengals podcast.
Right.
Or once again, for everybody that is a big fan of breakfast, if you don't want to like and subscribe and put a hashtag on those podcasts, please like and describe your favorite hash browns.
There we go. Bow rounds. Bow rounds are really good here in Charlotte.
Yes, sir.
And we got Kris is in Indianapolis.
That's right.
And
Always
Angry
representing.
Angry Scott, I believe, is in the Waxhaw area. We'll next week we're sending out his phone number and his address.
So that's for everyone who doesn't know where that is. It's in the greater
Waxhaw.
Charlotte area.
There you go.
So anyways, well, let's go ahead and get into
Yes, sir.
the Browns performance.
Oh, I'm sorry. There is the other one. My bad. Hey, there we go.
We'll go ahead and bring up the Browns here first. So look, the Browns played the Panthers on Sunday. The Browns have not had an opening game-winning day since 2004. Jeff Garcia was the quarterback, and I remember that was a home game. That was his first game as a Brown, and they beat the Ravens 20-3. That was my first year living in Raleigh, North Carolina. And then, but the last on-the-road home win was 1994. So think about what you were doing in 1994, because I know I did. And I didn't think, wow, it'd be this long. Now, in defense, the Browns, their last season in Cleveland was in 95. Okay. And then they went away for 3 years. Art Modell team moved to Baltimore. They came back in 1999. So keep that in mind. So everybody that always wants to say, hey, Bill Belichick was fired by the Browns. Well, actually, he was with the Browns and when they were in Cleveland, and they didn't bring him along to Baltimore. So keep that in mind. But it is, regardless, they've been back since 1999. It's needless to say, it's been a very difficult 23 years. However, I'm glad to have a win for the first time since 1994.
That's great. Yeah, I just wanted to say, so first off, my boy Nick Chubb, good game. Good, and also, hey, 22 rushes for 141. You had Kareem Hunt getting a couple of touchdowns. I will say this. Your boy Baker Mayfield, you can get into that. Hit the offense in the first half for the Panthers. It was like watching paint dry for me. I mean, I could give two craps about either one. But yeah, what was your thoughts on Jacoby Brissett and that high power?
So here's the deal. I'm trying to figure this out with Jacoby. I'm watching the game, and I'm seeing why he's a perennial backup. I mean, I saw at least 4 missed throws in the first quarter. Now, is that because you brought in Jacoby to be a backup? You thought Deshaun was going to be your starter. He gets suspended 11 games. But then I'm sitting there saying, why don't we have Jimmy G? Why don't we even have Josh Dobbs? I will say this: Josh Dobbs looks better in the preseason than Jacoby did. Now, you saw this around the whole NFL, because guys never play the preseason anymore, or they're just trying to get their air quotes sea legs under them. That's what Kevin Stefanski said. Hey, are we just going to get our sea legs under us? Well, that, or you have to show them you have to teach Jacoby how to throw a ball. Or here's an idea: if you got Nick Chubb in the backyard, in the backfield, just hand the ball to Nick Chubb or hand the ball to Kareem Hunt. Okay, because otherwise, receiver wise, yes, you got Donovan Peoples-Jones, you got Harrison Bryant as your tight end. You got David Njoku. Amari Cooper, we didn't see very much from him, but he was also covered up because he's like the real legit wide receiver on that team. Anthony Schwartz has an aversion to catching passes, which is not helpful. He's a speedster, but I mean, now I'm seeing, why Jacoby's been a perennial backup. I will say this: even though the story was Baker and how bad, he looked in that first half, we didn't really capitalize on very much. The Browns didn't. So, I mean, I think at halftime, we were up 17-7, but I mean, there was no score in that first quarter. So I would say, honestly, you want to do a heavy dose of Nick Chubb. And so to Chubby time, I mean, of course, Trey, I know you're you watch much there too, just because, you know, do you not have your Nick Chubb Cleveland Browns jersey yet?
I should. He's the man, though. Hey, just lunch pail like performance. I remember they mic'd him up a couple years ago. All you could hear was he's breathing. Good kid, just hard worker. Can't not like him. So yeah, I do need to get a Nick Chubb jersey.
So I want to see, of course, you know, I was like, hey, we need to at halftime. Could we trade for Jimmy G? That's what I was thinking, because I was not overly impressed with Jacoby. He was just overshadowed because Baker looked so bad, and Baker was the whole story. But I've seen, you know, this is the best team that Jacoby's been with since he's been a starter. But I just saw too many missed opportunities. So hopefully that's just his lack of not playing very many preseason games. But when you looked at it, Jacoby's numbers in the first half were actually worse than Baker's. So, you know, I mean, to be honest with you, both teams look bad. Once again, is this because here's the thing that's ironic. In college football, there are no preseason games. So you get right into playing these big games. But if in the pros, there are preseason games, but like the starters don't play. So, my take on, especially that first quarter, is honestly both quarterbacks were garbage. You know, I take down the garbage every Sunday, and that's what it reminded me of that first quarter. So now let me ask you guys a question. So we talked about Scott Frost getting fired from Nebraska the other day on the Buckeye podcast. Does Matt Rule, do you think he's also a dead man walking?
Yeah, I think he's got to make playoffs or bust. I mean, I was getting texts during the game. They're like, he would fit right in Lincoln, Nebraska. He needs to go back. I know I have several diehard Panther fans that want him gone. Like they were all excited when they kicked that field goal. Like, ha, there's one. Clock's ticking, dude. So I know Teffer's got a lot of money. I don't know what that buyout is, but yeah, I mean, he's got to make, to me, playoffs, 10, 11 wins at least.
Now,
what year is this for him?
I think this is his. Do you know, Trey? I think it's his third or fourth year. I want to say he came the same year as Stefanski. Is it his third year? And they gave him this 7-year contract. But, dude, it just tells you, it just shows you why, once again, a good college coach doesn't necessarily become a good pro coach, and a good pro coach doesn't necessarily become a good college coach. Obviously, Urban Meyer was a huge failure. I mean, I had no idea it was going to go that horribly bad. Right. But then you also got who's the coach down who used to coach the Bears and now is back with Lovie Smith. He's back with the Texans, man. He didn't do very much at Illinois. You know, he grew that nice white Santa Claus beard, but beyond that, you know, now he's coaching back at the Texans. So, you know, there's just guys that sometimes they do better, you know, on one level. So I will say this. No, go ahead there, Trey.
Yes, or you do have a Pete Carroll who can win, USC. I know a little shady there, but he did get one. And then also he wins one in Seattle. So it can happen. It's rare, but yeah, it's hard.
And Jimmy Johnson with Miami and then the Dallas Cowboys. And here's the other thing too. You say that's shady now. That was shady then. But now it's just like NIL, dude. And now there's nothing wrong with it.
So, just call him a pioneer.
There you go, man. Well, I will tell you this. When I was watching that second quarter, when the Browns went up 7-0 after watching the first quarter, I said, is this enough points for us to win the game? Right. So, I mean, part of it was because the Panthers secondary, they tackled Amari Cooper in the end zone. Right. So, I mean, I'm hoping that in particular, Jacoby just looked rusty because of his lack of preseason. But if you know he's going to be the guy and he doesn't have that many reps, why not go ahead and play him more? So I don't know. I mean, hey, the only thing I can say is about Jacoby is he was just overshadowed because Baker looked even worse, you know. Right. But my thoughts when I was there watching the game, and you can hear it in my voice screaming a little bit, and it might have been something to me saying, you know, bless you, Baker Mayfield, and by bless you, you can go ahead and insert another adjective in there. But I was also yelling to say, run the damn ball, because right now, you know, Nick Chubb, 22 carries for 141 yards, Kareem Hunt, 11 carries for 46, but also, man, Kareem looked great. So I will say this, from a defensive standpoint, we knew exactly what to do against Baker. I was actually very surprised how bad Baker played. I thought he was going to come out, because here's what I know about Baker Mayfield. We talked about this a little bit last week. When his back is against the wall, that's when he plays his best football. Okay, so last year after OBJ left Cleveland to go, you know, has no more guaranteed money. Oh, they fired me. You wanted to leave, and you went to LA. That's fine. You won a Super Bowl. I'm not bitter about it at all, as you can tell. So But the next week we come out against Joe Burrow and the Bengals, and they win big. We say, hey, we're going to be fine without OBJ. Well, no, but then Baker came back to being Baker. So I would say almost, internally, he was probably, super hype and everything. He was probably like about ready to explode. But on the surface, like, oh, I've never seen Baker so calm. They kept on talking about that during the game. Well, it didn't help at all. In the first half, I got to say, I laughed every time I saw a knock pass. A knockdown pass. I think there was like 4 or 5 knockdown passes. And so when I'm sitting there watching and they want to talk about how good Baker's going to be and everything like that, I mean, all they have to do in the second half, Matt Rule, if you want to have those passes not get batted down, hey, just have Baker grow 6 inches and your problem is solved. Right. So, I mean, as good as the defense played, we couldn't do anything offensively in the first half. Right. You're still up 10 points, but then you let I think we were up 20-7, and then we go and we let Carolina back into the game. Because we have a couple missed assignments, and then towards the end of the game, we think, hey, oh crap, they're going to go down and they're going to win. Because of course, I've seen it happen so many times, and then I think they scored with like a minute and 6 seconds left, maybe a minute and a half or something. I'm like, well, there might be enough time left. It turns out there was enough time, and all it took was a 58-yard field goal. So we can't count on that every week, but I was thinking about what Browns jersey I should get. So I think I was thinking to get a Nick Chubb jersey because I do like Chubby time. And my wife was a big Myles Garrett fan because he's a big fan of dinosaurs. And she also likes players that, swing their helmet and hit people. So, but now I think maybe I need to go instead and get a Cade York jersey, the field goal kicker, because he was 4 for 4. And that 58-yard field goal, man, to end the game, that was clutch.
Hey, in the defense of the Panthers or whatever, you probably watched it closer than I did. What is it with there was an questionable intentional grounding, and a couple like referee debatable calls? How did you agree?
Here's what you're going to talk about. You're talking about, was there like a late hit towards the end of the game to that extended? But here's what I remember, because I wrote it down, is in the first quarter, there was also a BS late hit. And they let them play ball, and that's what extended the drive for Baker as well. So here's the thing about the NFL. Okay, I understand you want to go and you want to try to make the game safer and everything. I understand that, but all three of us, we watch a lot of UFC fights, and I got news for you. You can't make a UFC fight. You can't make it any more careful. If you don't want to go and get hit in the head, don't get in the octagon. And with this, hey, you want to take some of the hits out and everything else. I understand that. But other times, you have got to let them play ball. Still, some of these calls, man, some of these late hits or hits to the heads, I mean, to me, it's got to be egregious for you to go make that call. Because I still think you watch not only this game, but you watch any game, there's a bunch of other BS calls.
Oh, yeah. Well, all right. Well, moving forward, at least, hey, win is a win. You guys are 1-0. And it looks like you guys are at home against the Jets. I think that's going to be Joe Flacco because I believe Zach Wilson's still banged up. So this looks like a good matchup here. Any thoughts on the upcoming week? 1 p.m. at home. I guess, do they still call it the Dog Pound?
Yes, indeed. But you see there's the big story. And I know Kris talked about that, was they've got the new elf there. That was there from 1948 to the 1960s or something. I know my father had spoke about the little brownie there, and now they have a little brownie mascot that's been running around. So apparently Art Meldell didn't like it, so that's part of the reason that it went away. But Art Meldell can go fuck himself. So I mean, they did bring it back. So in that regard, it's good. Now, in terms of the game, we sure as hell, I thought we were actually going to lose this game because I thought Baker was going to come out and play out of his mind. Right. It turns out he didn't. I enjoyed it immensely. Glad that we got, that opening day victory, the first one since 2004. But going into the Jets, we sure as hell better beat the Jets. Okay. And here's my game plan for Kevin Stefanski. Run the damn ball. Okay. Run the damn ball. Hand it off. If you want to roll with Jacoby, maybe he can look better. I mean, I keep on saying this, and I'm not trying to trash Jacoby, but this is the reason he's a backup. I'd honestly like to see Josh Dobbs play. I mean, it's just right now, if you had him all season, I'm afraid. Now, should we go in and beat the Jets? If you want to have a successful year, you sure as hell better beat the Jets. Right. And I know you say Joe Flacco's the starter, but does Zach Wilson, does he scare you? Because he doesn't scare me.
He doesn't. Plus, he gets hurt all the time. So give us
I will say the biggest thing out of last week's game before we completely move forward is, Baker struggled in that first half. He did play better in the second half. We'll see. I mean, the Browns they didn't capitalize. Jacoby, I don't think was good enough, but I will say this. It wasn't, it didn't hurt them. In the NFL, college is different. You got to look, you got to win the big games. You got to look good in the other games, that you're playing against lesser opponents. In the NFL, just win. Now it is still, you're thinking, hey, a win is a win in the NFL. Make no mistake about that. But it's also, if you have aspirations to make to the playoffs, if you think you can be a good team, if you think the Browns could maybe be a playoff team, the Bengals just won the Super Bowl last year. So it also is how you win, because if you don't make those corrections, it's going to catch up with you.
Sure.
What are your thoughts on the game there, Kris?
Yeah, Kris, let's get you in there.
Oh, sorry, fellas. So actually, I didn't watch the game at all because guess what? I don't have DirecTV. I don't have Sunday ticket. So I was one of the victims Sunday, one of the millions of victims Sunday. So, yeah, I'll just publicly declare it's war between me and NFL Sunday ticket.
Did they ever say what the issue was?
No, I think they just said they just suck in general. So I've had multiple conversations with these dudes, and
Man,
the war still wages on. I'll say that.
Man, how bad is that it happened week 1 of the NFL and the NFL ticket? How bad is that? It's cheap.
Painful because you kind of want to watch your own team win or attempt to win.
Well, I will say this real quick, not to put Kris, not to put salt in the wound. I mean, obviously, you've shown that you are that casual fan, and that's okay. I did watch some of the Bengals Steelers game. That being said, for me, I also have DirecTV, and I do have the Sunday ticket. Turns out, for me, it was free the first weekend, so I didn't have to pay for it. So I did get to see all the different games. But that's like I said. Of course, I don't want to rub any salt in the wound. You know what? Honestly, man, watching that Bengals game, it might have helped you to not see.
That is great. And to wash that salt wound away and have a tasty beverage, how about our great sponsor that we have with Viva Tequila?
Well, let me tell you about our sponsor there, Trey. They have flavored their tequila seltzer because flavor is the spice of life. And we like our drinks with a kick, just as we like to live our life. Whether it's a huckleberry while playing around at golf or an elderberry after Saturday morning workout, our flavors pair perfectly with our artisanal Blanco tequila for our subtle and refreshing drinks. Their belief is live long, live well, and live it up. Hashtag Viva Up. To which, Kris, I'm guessing if you would have watched that game, you would have downed about 4 to 6 of the Viva seltzers. Am I right?
No, I kind of watched it sober, but if I was in the right mind frame, I would definitely pound some Viva. I definitely would have pounded an easy sixer. It was tough. So to clarify, Scott, you're one of the lucky ones that have DirecTV and Sunday ticket through, I guess, cable or satellite. But in our parts of town, we don't get DirecTV. So we're pretty much locked into one supplier or one vendor, Spectrum. But so I can't even stream it. I'm still on the phone with them like daily, just trying to get this whole thing figured out, just to unlock a freaking account.
Ready for this? I'm sure Spectrum isn't fucking you over, right? Because cable companies never do that. The best thing with a cable company is, hey, you've been a loyal customer for a while. And because you've been a loyal customer, we need to charge you more. And the only way you can fix that, I'm going to tell you how you can fix that. Then you got to go and you got to argue with them on the phone. And then you have to tell them, well, hey, then you have to tell them, I'm going to cancel my service. Not until you say those words. I'm going to cancel my service. Do they say, well, hold on a second. Now I'll give you the best deal we can. That's the way they've been doing business for a long time. So anybody out there that wants to cut the cord from Spectrum or DirecTV and you want to go to Hulu or whoever else streaming, man, I'm all for it. And they are saying, here's the thing, there is, there is something on the horizon there, Kris. They said this the last year, the DirecTV contract, I think it's been since the mid-90s.
That is
so
correct.
For the Sunday ticket. So I believe next year you're going to come up and you're going to have the ability to then, they're thinking there's some kind of streaming platform. I wouldn't be surprised if it was with Amazon Prime. That's honestly what I would think now, because I like to DVR games. I don't know what that means for me, DVRing a game. I'm not quite sure. So maybe no luck on that.
Amazon Prime too, Scott. So Thursday
What's
night.
that now?
Thursday night's going to be Amazon Prime night, I believe, because
That's right.
Now, do you know, is there any way whatsoever to like watch that from the very beginning and go through commercials, or you just have to watch it live?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. That's a good question.
No clue. But let's go ahead and recap this horrible Bengals game.
There you go.
How about that?
Yeah,
So
There you
again,
go.
let me go ahead and again declare war on Sunday ticket streaming service. The battle still continues. So all our loyal fans and viewers, I need some T's and P's, thoughts and prayers. So I get this resolved ASAP. But let's go through. Bengals were typically orange and black, but we're black and orange. This time we'll go through a little bit of the black and blues.
There you
Started
go.
off with my boy Joey B.
Yep.
Abysmal
Steelers
start.
defeated.
Hey,
Bengals.
Chris, I think he just threw another interception.
I think so.
Man, maybe we can blame it on the appendix thing. It's hard to come back from that. Maybe.
I don't know if it's you can. I'll throw my blame at a few spots. So again, he didn't. That prevented him from playing most of all of the preseason. So he didn't really get a lot of time with the ones, especially the new O-line. Again, 80% of that O-line has been rebuilt, replaced, retooled, however you want to say it. So basically the only returning starter is Jonah Williams. But again, you got a new O-line. So that gave us the Blues big time, particularly our rookie offensive guard. My guy Cordell Volson out of North Dakota State. I think first play of the game, he let Cam Hayward right on through. So that was his welcome to the NFL moment. So
Former Buckeye.
That's right,
Cam Hayward.
So, but now he's a Steeler, and just because of the colors he wears, he sucks.
You're dead to me, Cam.
But yeah, it was tough to listen to because the only way I could actually tune into the game was listening to it on Sirius XM. So. Again, just horrendous way to listen to a team give away the game. Yeah. But, I mean, if you take away at least one of Joey B's giveaways, we win the game. So, again, it's just really tough to sit here and listen to all the blues that we go through with Joey B, the rookies, the rookie O-linemen, and our just offensive linemen just trying to gel still. But there's some bright spots in there too, right? I guess Joe B got his head out of his butt second half, really started trying to pull the team together. And actually, if you look at his stat line, again, take away the 4 picks, 33 for 53. So slanging around a lot, almost like his rookie season, pre-injury, but 338 yards. Brought us back, gave us a chance. And just unfortunately, it was just at that point, a tragedy from our special team side. So I'm not sure, Scott, if you got to hear much on DirecTV, but our long snapper, Clark Harris, apparently got hurt.
Yeah.
Chris, I was going to ask you that question. That was a question I was going to ask you. Do you wish right now that you would have spent a first-round draft pick on a long snapper?
No, but we did draft a long snapper. This kid, Cal Adamitis.
Is he the one that got hurt?
No, he's not. That's Clark Harris. So he's been our special team. He's been our long snapper for like 14 years, I want to say. So a lot of consistency there. And that's the big thing that we missed and contributed. I don't want to put it on our backup long snapper, our emergency snapper. But again, if you've had the comfort of one guy doing the same job for 14 years, really tough to kind of fill in a pinch. Not to say Mitchell Wilcox shouldn't have been ready, but no buts. Should have been a little more ready. However, again,
don't you think
in that order of operations, it's tough.
Can you really prepare for your long snapper going down? It's kind of like, hey, your punter goes down and like, here's the backup punter or something like that. So I will say this. I think your boy, Zach Taylor, I think somebody's made some other coaching mistakes out there, but I'm not going to put it on him that he didn't have the long snapper ready as much as he should have been.
No, that's interesting. I did listen to a Bengals podcast. Our radio announcers, Dave Lapham and Dan Horde, they interviewed Mitchell Wilcox, our backup, our emergency long snapper. And that was a direct question is, how do you prep for that? And he goes, he's taken more punter snaps more so than extra points. But again, it's just one of those things. How do you necessarily do that? So I guess moving forward, though, I bet he'll stay sharp and stay ready. But again, it's just tragic.
Yeah.
Tragic.
Well, you don't want to hear this, Kris, but you know who would have done a pretty good job of preparing for it? And I don't want to hear this either, but Mike Tomlin, that's only because he's a better coach.
Oh, well, I mean, you got to respect Tomlin. Again, he got a squad ready. Every year, regardless of the personnel, he always finds a way to get them ready. So one thing I do kind of envy is he did play his guys through the preseason. So again, they were, I'll call them contact ready. Not to say that makes you an instant winner for your first game, but I will say it gets them in that mentality ready to hit. And again, I guess credit to him for getting them ready. Not so much with the extracurricular. So if you look at like penalties, I'm kind of all over the place here, but just comparing penalties, I think they were internet's help me.
No, they definitely had. I mean, I'll give you. Can I give
There
you
were a
some
lot.
thoughts on the game, bro, Kris? I'll give you my thoughts on the game here.
59.
Yeah, and again, just listening, it sounded like Fitzpatrick, regardless of his pick six.
Well, this is
he
right.
also hit us pretty tough after the whistle a few times too.
This is what kills right here, Kris. 5 turnovers and you still almost won 0. I mean, you can't do that.
I know, dude.
5 turnovers, yeah.
So if you ask me, are we Super Bowl bound? It's only the first game, so I'm not ready to.
Super Bowl
it's super. Yeah, I think we're a little hungover, and Pittsburgh just out-toughed us. It didn't help us that my guy T. Higgins was out, concussion protocol. But again, next man up. We had our shots, and we just couldn't hit them.
Looks like Jamar Chase killed it as advertised, right?
Oh, my God, he's still as advertised. That's I think he's still a special player, and I think he did just about everything he could. That I do regret the fact that we couldn't review that his second potential touchdown in real time. But again, I'm listening to it on radio, so my imagination compared to 4K TV sucks.
Well, look at it this, Kris. Look at it this way, Kris. Even if he would have made that touchdown, the field goal would have got blocked anyways.
Pretty much. But again, that split second, that's proof right there. That split second of consistency.
I'll say this, as much as I hate the Steelers, and I do hate the Steelers, man, they're a better organization than both the Browns and the Bengals, man. They have right now the better coach, okay? And, I don't think Tomlin's ever had a losing record there in Pittsburgh. But here's the other thing I will say. Pittsburgh right now has the longest playoff drought in the AFC North. So, ha, ha, ha. So I will say real quick, I'll give you a couple thoughts on the game. With Joe Burrow, as bad as what he played, man, y'all still should have won that game. I see 4 interceptions, a lost fumble. Is that a lack of the preseason games? Are we going to put that on the appendix? As Trey mentioned last week, his appendix was a little bruised up, and by bruised up, it burst, and he's lucky to be alive. But, so do we put that? I mean, some of this I've got to put on lack of preseason games. I also think Joe's got a pretty good reason for not being in the preseason because he had an organ removed. I know because I've been there as well, okay? I, too, have had my appendix taken out. So, long snapper, you've got to solve that, but can you really go and prepare for that all the time? Well, somebody like Mike Tomlin, somebody like Bill Belichick probably would have. That's what you decide going forward. I can't really put that on Zach Taylor, but I will put the overtime. And when he goes and he punts the ball, there's 16 seconds left when they went and punted the ball. At this point in time, you're just looking to go and tie the game. And if Pittsburgh goes and they win down, they go down and they win. So once again, I know Zach, man, like you just took him to the Super Bowl last year. But I think still Mike Tomlin with lesser talent is still the better coach. The other thing I'll say with the field goal kicker, your field goal kicker is great, but in overtime and it comes back with the bad snap and they had to, he misses the field goal. First, he gets the extra point blocked with 1 second left and regulation. And then in overtime, let me just say this, boys, if you remember this movie, Laces Out, Ray Finkel. Okay. Dude, so the laces, boom. And dude, your field goal kicker was clutch last year. He kind of reminded me of Cade York that first week, but all last year and in the Super Bowl. So I will say this. Now, question for you, Kris. Do you think that that field goal they kicked? I want to say they kicked it on third down. Do you think they should have just went and just ate it? And then they could have went and I'm talking about an overtime. Then they could have went and they still could have went and had fourth down to kick again. So it wasn't like it was a 68 or a 58-yard field goal. So they could have went ate that and then go and kicking on fourth. Do you think they should have done that?
Yeah, I can't remember what how much time was left on the clock though. So again, my imagination doesn't really do too well compared to 4K TV and all that good stuff. But I guess in hindsight, maybe we should have. Again, it's something we got to learn from, and I think the team will be better to learn to tough it out and figure it out. But
the thing that's crazy is, man, I don't think Joe Burrow is going to play that bad every week. He sure as hell better not.
Oh,
so
no,
I think
dude.
that's going to go. That's going to go. He's going to get better, but then you still should have won that game. With the kick I'm talking about, I would say two things that yes, I put on the special teams coach, and yes, that does come back to Zach Taylor. Is you could have in overtime when there was like a minute something left, you could have even taken the delay a game and kicked the ball. I'm talking about the punt, okay? Or you could have went and kicked it 1 second left, and they kicked it with 16 seconds left, and then Pittsburgh goes down, and they actually go and they make the field goal. Now, what's ironic is both Pittsburgh and Cincinnati had a chance to win that game. Pittsburgh in overtime, they go down after Cincinnati misses their field goal, and the guy goes down and he hits the upright. So the same thing happened there, but then the next time he goes and Pittsburgh's field goal kicker made their kick. So I was what I was talking about in overtime when they went and they kicked that field goal that would have won the game. They snapped it on third. So they actually had a fourth down, and so there's still plenty of time left. Now, I'm not talking about the extra point in regulation.
I gotcha. I mean, in hindsight, yeah, maybe they should have. But again, sometimes situational awareness isn't the best, the strongest suit for Zach at times. So again, I think he'll take it and learn from it. Going back to Joe, going back to Burrow, just learning and getting better. Absolutely. I like one of the many qualities I like about Burrow. He's kind of a vengeful guy, so he takes the lessons learned and he holds it in, right? So he gets pissed and applies it to the next game. So interesting story from over the summer, even, right? They caught like some interviewer caught some maybe internet footage of him training, and he was tossing around a Super Bowl ball, right? And he goes, "Hey Joe, why do you like? What's the reason?" Oh, just to keep it around. But deep inside, Joe's just a massive competitor. So again, that's that reminder. He wants to get back. He wants to avenge that loss. So I think, again, he'll take this loss, take it into Dallas, and get us back into the winning mind frame.
There we go.
Well, I will say this: he still had 338 yards, and from what I see, and I want to get your all's thought on this as well. I'll tell you what, man, I don't think Mitch Trubisky is the future quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Do you know? And Trey, maybe you want to go and show everybody your small hands. Kenny Pickett's small hands. Well, how long do you think it's going to take before Kenny Pickett's in there?
I think he's in there by midseason, my pick, six or eighth week.
Yeah,
everyone can win that game. Najee Harris is banged up. They got a garbage offensive line. TJ Watt out with a pec. Steelers are banged up.
Now, one thing, I saw to mention about the TJ Watt. That's the thing that's crazy, man. I mean, I think Dak Prescott's out in like 4 to 6 weeks. When I think a broken thumb, and then TJ Watt, I want to say he did. I think it's a torn pec. So I don't know if he's out for the season. The other little observation that I made. Now, watch this the next time you watch a game. Here's an observation I made. When there's an injury, they go to commercial. Now they're going to say, "Oh, we're just trying to speed up the game." But I think, yes, they're going to try to speed up the game, but also they don't want to show all those injuries because football, hey, injuries don't happen. So then they go, unless it's really bad, they don't linger around. Watch the next time there's an injury during an NFL game, they'll go to commercial almost immediately.
Oh, yeah. All right, real quick, let's touch on the Bengals goes to Jerry World against no Dak Prescott and the Fighting Cooper Rushes. I think this will be a good bounce back game for you, Kris. 7.5 point spread. What's your thoughts?
I'm with you. I think this is a good opportunity to bounce back and come back. Honestly, I don't have a ton of study done on Dallas, but they don't seem too disciplined this year. Offensive line seems a little bit porous. So I think this is just a good opportunity for us to get back into that win
3
column.
3 points against the Bucks. Yeah, 3 points against the Bucks. I think they don't have any deep threats. You got CD Lamb, but they're missing like Gallup, missing Amari Cooper. Just watching some of the game, no doubt.
Yeah,
I think you guys roll. I do think you need somebody's got to block Micah Parsons. He's a problem.
that young man is a problem. So I'm with you. That's the big worry for me. Him and again, as we saw, Joey B's got 4 picks in him easy. So I don't want him to get too relaxed around Diggs. Right. That's the other worry. They do have Malik Hooker in the backfield, so he might be trying to
Former Buckeye.
rejuvenate that career. So again, it's NFL. Getting a win in NFL is not it's never easy, but I think Dallas gives us a good chance. So Joe's got to come in focused, come in angry, but I feel good, and I hate the Cowboys, so I really feel good.
There you go.
Well, man, I think there's going to be. I think you're going to come out with a victory here week 2, especially because Dallas, man, they got their backup quarterback, and I can tell you I wish we had our starting quarterback. So it looks like it's a 4:25 p.m. game, Eastern Standard Time. So yeah, man, I'm going to go and I'm going to say that Bengals win next week. I'm going to say the Browns win next week as well, and I think the Browns win by 13 points.
Wow,
33-20. What are your thoughts there, Kris?
Yeah.
Who are the Browns playing again?
Jets.
No, I think the Browns will win big. So the only thing you guys have to really watch out for is I don't know if their hot rookie Sauce Gardner really makes a difference, or if he's going to make a difference. But I don't know. They seem to have like a new attitude, and they're out to prove a point. So
the Jets.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Robert Saleh.
Okay. Well, look, man, anything can happen because a couple years ago when the Browns made the playoffs, they also lost to the Jets on their way to the playoffs. So I will say this. My dad, who I love very much, I know you listen to the podcast, but now sometimes he's like, if anybody ever seen Major League 2, he's kind of like Randy Quaid in that movie. He says, wild thing, more like mild thing. And so anyways, if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. So he's not, very high on the Browns at times over the years, but of course he hasn't had very much to cheer about. But we sure as hell better be the Jets. And his defense, when he was growing up, they were winning NFL championships, and he was watching Jim Brown. And they have gone a long way since then. Yes, Browns seem to be on the up. I mean, I would say the team overall look good, but we definitely need to get back to that starting quarterback. But we sure as hell better be the Jets if we're going to do anything this year. So for what it's worth, I think it's going to be a win across the board for the state of Ohio. I think the Bucks win on Saturday, the Browns win on Sunday, and yes, the Bengals win on Sunday.
Oh, yeah. I like how you think, Scott.
There you go.
Any other thoughts there, Trey?
Yeah, just fantasy-wise, I do have the Browns defense. He got me 8 points, and I do have Joe Mixon. So run the ball. Let's play some defense. Browns and Bengals.
I hear you. Well, gentlemen, that's been another episode of the Brutal Truth Browns and Bengals podcast. Thanks for listening. And please remember to like and subscribe to the podcast. And please go catch a refreshing Viva Seltzer.
Yes, sir. Have a good one, guys.
All right. See you, fellas. Great job.